니레로.
Hollow Knight Silksong is a follow-up to the hit indie title Hollow Knight. Recently, Team Cherry dropped this trailer announcing an upcoming DLC. Wait a minute. Wrong script. Sorry. The new trailer for Canto 9 is dropped, and I'm happy to say that this will be the best Canto yet. I don't think they'll be able to top this one. That being said, there's many things to go over and many things to theorize with this new trailer that dropped, and so I'll keep this short because I gotta get this video out soon so that I can start earning. Now, I'm not a certified theorist, so I'll just list a few things I noticed in the video and give some basic insight and predictions, which will all probably be false because Hellscreen is like 2 pages long, so it'll deviate the most from the source materials, and Kim Ji-hoon hates me. Anyways, let's start by quickly recapping all the fingers. The thumb is a hierarchical syndicate highly leading into the whole hierarchy of the mafia vibe. The thumb doesn't allow people they perceive below them to talk back or do anything in the presence of a higher rank. They have subsidiaries like the Ruminos Cartel, Night Owls, or the Kurokumo clan that they use to fetch fabric. The Index is a syndicate that follows prescripts given to them. The prescripts are made by the gods of the city, which is a pendulum that swings based on the vibrations of the city and is inscribed by this beautiful sewer woman right here. Their whole theme is blindly following the will of the city. The middle's whole theme is family. They value family above all else, meaning they stick close to one another and will exact revenge on anyone who hurts a part of their family. They're definitely the most unserious of the fingers as of now, but this Canto will probably change that. Unrelated, there's these old concept arts of the middle, and I think they're pretty cool. I hope we can see them in Limbus, but seeing as how they kinda deviated slightly from this whole concept of the middle, I'm not sure if we ever will. But they're pretty cool. I really hope that we get to see this type of middle from one of the 4 sections. The ring is based on art, gruesome art made from gore most of the time. So basically your average quiet art school kid. They do some fucked up weird shit, and they're focused on mirror technology as we see from Leviathan and Canto 6. Virgilius has his own personal vendetta against them because they kinda turned Garnet into a Garnet and overwrote Lapis' entire personality. For more information on what I mean, just read Leviathan. I'm not gonna go into all that in this video. The Pinky is the most mysterious so far. We know nothing about them almost, and they don't really gather and they can't really identify each other most of the time. Notable Pinky members include Jiachu, Zilu, and Leihong. All of them are one of the 108 heroes from Water Margins so far, so we'll see if they follow that trend. Anyways, now to the analysis of the actual trailer. First of all, we see this bundle of red string. Seems to be a common theme in everything Ryoshu related, and the red string might possibly be related to family in some way. What's more, this seems to be a reference to Kagito. The imagery is very similar to what we see in Lobotomy Corporation. It also could be a reference to the Gordian Knot, a legend that says whoever cuts this very intricate knot would rule all of Asia. In the legend, Alexander the Great, instead of undoing it laboriously, just cuts through it with a sword. It's about how there's simple solutions to intricate problems. And we all know that Ryoshu loves to cut things short, even words, so I don't think it's entirely unlikely that it symbolizes the Gordian Knot. Next up we see this blonde thumb woman who beats children. Nothing much to say here aside from the fact that it places emphasis on the sword she has. She has 2 swords similar to Ryoshu, and this is probably one of the 5 parents of Ryoshu that we see in this trailer, so maybe that's where she got her love of swords from. Next up we see this pimped out middle guy. Honestly, he seems like a great dude. Next up we got a ring guy who, as expected of a ring member, spouts some shit about the beauty of stripping flesh off of a child and breaking their spine and whatnot. Real creep, real weirdo. Doesn't belong here. Next up we have Baby Ryoshu, perhaps the cutest thing in all of Project Moon. Miles cuter than whatever this demon of Babylon is, that's for sure. We then cut to her as a toddler crying as she is being scolded by this tall woman. Before this, we can see the red string wrapping around a pinky finger, signaling that this woman presumably might be Ryoshu's mother. She might be one of the 108 maybe. She's basically doing this to her child, and that's probably where Ryoshu gets all her mommy issues from. And then we... Is that...
넌! 네가 100만 년 동안 견딘 아픔에 비하면 한 가지는 확실히 내 아픔은 별것도 아니겠지만 피로 씻으면 아니 이렇게 된다는 걸 그 이상의 고통을 겪어야만 해 아르갈리아! 넌 내게 있어 전부였던 안젤리카를 앗아갔어 그냥 그렇게 조금만 더 망설여 또 가야 했잖아 나도 난 이기주의자 멋대로 끊을 수 없는 거라고!
Okay, look, I know that's not Roland. Everyone knows that isn't Roland, but it's clear they're trying to draw at least some kind of connection here. He's the most focused on in this entire trailer. I know a lot of people will pull up the Project Moon has many characters and suits argument, but it's really not the same. Roland is distinctly unique from most characters in attire aside from maybe Bada and Nemo, but they both have something that compensates for their standard attire like gigantic gauntlets or
그러면서
슈퍼 레이저를 그자에게 짠.
The fact that this man has almost nothing to differentiate him aside from that tiny little pocket watch seems to hint at something. They also only blacken his face and not his neck like they did other parents from earlier. There's two paths one can take away from this. One, this is clickbait and PM did this for express purpose of making people discuss this and talk about Roland, just to troll everyone. Or he actually does have a tie to Roland in some way. Now, the Index is probably known for their iconic white cloak, and this guy just doesn't have that for some reason. Otherwise, it's really weird that they depict him like this, clearly making him look like Roland. The red lighting also makes it look like that one scene from when they... Anyways, aside from that, he has a burn mark probably running across his face, and we know that Ryoshu's base ego inflicts burn and has a lot to do with it, so I'm guessing this guy was scarred by Ryoshu's sword once and is a major figure in Ryoshu's life. Next shot we see a pinky finger pointing while Ryoshu tells her child to follow the thread. What this means I'm not exactly sure. The Pinky is the most mysterious faction and we know close to nothing about them, but they seem to be pretty important for this Canto as well. Ryoshu's mother is presumably a Pinky member, so I'm guessing so is Ryoshu? Next we see presumably Ryoshu and her daughter looking up at the moon, and that's the end of the trailer. So, as a quick summary, there seems to be two quote-unquote daughters. One is Ryoshu and the other is the daughter of Ryoshu. Ryoshu seems to be basically a daughter of the entire hand, with all fingers seeing her as a daughter. There's more emphasis placed on the Pinky Woman and Roland, so maybe they're the birth parents of Ryoshu. The status of Ryoshu's daughter is likely alive, as implied by Lei Heng, but in some way that'll probably make her crash out, seeing as, you know, she kinda dies in Hellscreen. If I had to take a wild guess at it, I'm guessing that Ryoshu will break the cycle of generational trauma inflicted on her from her mother and her parents, and maybe liberate her child from the fingers or something like that. Either that or, you know, her daughter dies like in Hellscreen. That'd be fun. And yep, that's it for the trailer. I just wanted to do a quick analysis and small prediction. I plan to make a longer, actual, more serious, more high budget video sometime after Canto 9 releases, so look out for that one, I guess. Yep. Bye. I'd fuck Arter Blossom Moth.